Hi guys, so welcome back again, and now I'm going to explain a little better. So I'm proposing a U-root hypothesis and the Mediterranean as a cradle. Yes. Okay. So the U was the original root for water across early human languages. This root was preserved in conservative or isolated languages, i.e., the Basque ur, Albanian ui, and Old Irish uish or whiske. Whiske. So the root here is still u or wa. Wa wa wa. Wa. But within this wa, we have many ways of pronouncing. Civilizational centers like Sumer, Egypt, Levant, and later Indo-European regions developed divergent phonetic systems as their culture became more complex. Yes. The Mediterranean Sea may have been the central axis around which early language families spread and diverged. Yes, the root U as original for water. Across global languages, the phoneme U or wa appears as a water root. And if you actually say it, it is very strange, or this is my experience. Like you try it and see if you have the same response. But if you say wow, wow, wow many times, you will actually begin getting a bit thirsty. So our body seems to remember this word, or so my response is. Okay. Maybe it's just me who is thirsty, but no, actually this has happened several times now. But we can still follow it, okay? Ur, ui, uisce, mo, mo. Remember mo? And then muim, mayim, and then udaka. This is where uda. This ties up now with the Slavic voda, uda, and then Proto-Germanic, and then aqua, right? And then Chinese, sure. Well, I can't say that. Yes, I can't say that. We can try though. We can try searching it up, but okay, no. Water, Chinese, simplified. Shui. Okay, so they have the shu, right? Shu, like the Turkic group. So we can see now that they are related linguistically. Going back here. Yes. But that was just to show you the Chinese one. And then we go on. These languages act as linguistic time capsules, likely because of geographic protection, mountains and peninsulas. Yes. Plus a minimal external influence in early stages. Yes. Strong oral tradition with conservative pronunciation. Yes. So this is what happened. Diversions through civilization peaks. Early centers of writing and administration and an empire, Sumer, Akkad, Egypt, Hatti, Mycenae, Rome, began codifying language, leading to formal orthographies, Sumerian cuneiform, Egyptian hieroglyphs. Shift in phonological systems to match writing needs, semantic expansion with new layers of meaning assigned to roots, changes in vowel system, including nasalization. Right. So we also see that we dropped this nasalization in Europe, and yes, which we just don't. But this nasalization is still found in the Geg Albanian language. Mediterranean as the first linguistic nexus. So the Mediterranean connected Africa, Europe, and Western Asia. Was navigable and fertile for cultural exchange. Became a linguistic melting pot, possibly hosting early multilingual societies. Evidence suggests early human migrations spread from Levantine and North African coast via maritime travel, settled areas like Iberia, Basque, the Balkans, Illyrians and Albanians, and the British Isles, Celts. Yes, and we know that because we know of the old monuments that still exist there. Okay. Plus that they are unique. They pertain this old language, and this old language is the times before formalization. So once these were formalized or formalization had begun in the Greek and in the Latin speaking civilizations, not everyone participated in that. So that is why they kind of developed their own features, especially the Basque ones, but not the Albanians because they were still much closer to the Indo-Europeans naturally. But so the theory here is that the original U root for water was common in the pre-writing oral era and diverged post-agriculture when regions independently innovated their phonology, grammar, and lexicon to manage growing societies. Yes. Okay. Yes. Proto-languages may not fully capture the pre-proto shared roots, which were likely phonosemantic in nature, not morphological. The U root for water is older than writing and probably shared by ancestral populations before language families even solidified. Yes. Linguistic divergence followed civilizational and geographic divergence, a pattern that aligns with DNA, archaeology, and climate history. Yes. Okay. So now I asked it to make a timeline. And guys, this is amazing. Okay. This is to cry. Like this is terry material. Okay. This is terry material. This is like ancient. This is like crazy ass ancient. Oh God, I'm so privileged and I don't know what to say. I'm so privileged to find this and to share it. Yeah, timeline. The evolution of the water root, wā, wā. So 40,000 to 10,000 BCE, prehistoric proto-phonosemantics. Oral only communication, no writing systems yet. Humans associate simple vowel-based phonemes with sensory experience. Yes, that's what they do. That was the beginning of their logic. Their logic, their reasoning, their intellect. The U sound emerges globally as an iconic representation of fluidity and roundness, water. This is likely pre-linguistic or paralinguistic communication tied to gesture, rhythm, and environment. Yes. So root, wa, water flow, womb, life force. All of these, well, not this last one, but yes, even this last one can be put in there. Universally present in early speech communities, Africa, Eurasia. Yes. And then diverged or solidified a little bit more. We can see that now that this begins to solidify. Sedimentary farming communities form around rivers, lakes, and coasts. The importance of water increases, words become more defined. Early language families begin regionalizing. Afroasiatic, the Dravidian, and the pre-Indo-European Central. The U root stays consistent in many regions. Okay, we have now Ur, and this one, this Nur, Nir, Nir, Nur, 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 Nir. Okay, and then the Proto-Afroasiatic, Ma, 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 Mu, 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 Mu. Okay. And then we have the Asian Chinese one, the su. Okay. Yes. And then we begin to see now the first Proto-Indo-European one. The reason why I tie Albanian very early on is because they actually still have the U. Yeah. Okay, so language family solidified. Proto-Indo-European, Bodur, Udur. So all these ones, sure. So what I'm saying is that we might have spread before actual languages even began, right? Like fully languages. So say that we shared a conceptual understanding of specific sounds, right? And then we would scatter, but we would still use this conceptual understanding when building new words, right? So this is how we tie this back to the body, meaning that once people got the word that we could su, we could use our mouth differently, then that suddenly began spreading. But not only that, it might have begun before that when we did an action and that action made a sound and we would want to sing into it. So we call it ch 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 ch. So chi 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 chi, the two rocks, right, igniting, or hammering or sparking a little fire, right? So that would give the first conceptual understanding of how language can be used, and then later on, this intellect would grow and realize, oh, what it is that it is actually doing. That is when we get that is much later in our development. Okay, so let me not digress. Okay, let me just keep us where we are. Yes. Okay. So this is when we see now that these words, the Proto-Semitic ones, or the African ones who develop a language, begin using now m together with water. So it might just be that the root spread first, but then those who began developing their language began putting letters in front of this sound. Yes. So this one, the Proto-Indo-European one, is actually much later, right? Much later, because then even the Indo-Europeans had learned how to add sound, or change sound, or use sound more, use sound more complex, in a more complex way. Okay, so the Sumerian one develops amma, water, mother, right? So this is what I also was thinking about, because we also know that ma means mom, and it also means carries, and now it also means water, right? Because Sumerian develops amma, ma, 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 amma, 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 amma. But in Albanian, amma means also give me. So ma, give me, mama, give me water, give me. It's, well, this is crazy. It's like looking at it from, like, as if we were big babies back then, and then we developed, and that is what we were. We were big babies back then. We didn't know much. We were very afraid, especially once we had realized death. That came much later, though. Okay. And yes, we see that. And then we have the Old Chinese reconstructed, wu, wa. So even they have now the u, wa. And Egyptian, we also find the moi, ma. This W. Now we can only use actually even the letter W. Look at the symbolism of the letter W. Look at it. It is water. The W, the letter W, literally means water. It means a river. Yeah. So our ancestors were very intelligent back then. They did let us know what these letters mean. So in fact, every letter means something. We just don't know that now. But we do. We can find out, if we just follow the roots. And that is exactly what I've done. And I've managed to find the root word or meaning for each and every sound. Yes, I have. Yes, it is crazy to say that. It is a very bold thing to say, I know, but I'm saying it in my utmost humility. I am so humble. I'm trying to be as humble as I can. not trying to. In my humility, I am sharing what I have gathered. I'm not trying to prove a point. I'm not trying to win anything. All I want is to get to the root, to find the truth of who we are and how we developed. Because it is a beautiful journey. And it deserves our entire attention. Or so that is how I see it. Okay. So yes, because once we understand the past, we can understand the present and obviously the future. So writing systems, so 3 to 1,000 year BCE, early civilization and writing. Writing systems emerged, cuneiform hieroglyphs, Chinese characters, Linear B. Yes, that is where I brought it back to Linear B Greek. That Linear B Greek actually represent the first European language or vocabulary. Yes. And these all align with all these other ones. So Linear B Greek should align with all these other languages already at or in that era. They should pretty much be the same language, but they have just diverged in accents because of those laws, the laws of languages, of pronunciation, of sound, and their linguistic development, plus their philosophical reasoning, their intellectual understanding of their own existence and their place in it. So phonetics begin to shift to accommodate orthographic systems. Yes. Word for water evolved distinctively in major civilizations. Yes, because those civilizations, remember those peaks, they would always diverge from the roots. But the roots of the people who never participated in civilizational peaks, they never evolved. Thus, they retained the old words. And that is how we can connect it to. That is how we can find these connections. Okay. But here we go and see. But yes, shui. We have the Chinese shui. I don't know how to pronounce this. But I have. Well, we tried, and then but we have also the Old Chinese root wu. So the original wu is retained phonetically, but morphologically transformed. Yes, it did. And then we see how this further spread. Roman, Greek, Persian Empire spread regional phonetic systems. Latin aqua gains dominance in Europe, eclipsing local forms. Yes. Germanic languages retain the wa root, wasa, but this aqua, yes, sorry, this Germanic, they retained it because they were not a part of the Latin group. Remember that Rome peaked by itself, not with the other ones. It was fighting the other ones and using those other people as slaves or try to dominate them as much as it could, right? So these other ones who did not participate in this civilizational growth remained or had used the old root words. Basque and Albanian retained older roots, ur and uy. Uy. Okay. Yes. Linguistic conservatism in mountainous or isolated regions, Basque, Geg Albania, and Celtic areas. Yes, that is what we see. So we now see that apparently Albanian, for some reason, so there are some mountainous areas in Albania that are very inaccessible. And those have been able to preserve some roots, it seems. Okay. Further on, we go on, and then what we see here is that these languages then further develop. English inherits water from Proto-Germanic, Arabic influenced ma via Islam, and Old Irish keeps whiskey. Well, that would become whiskey. Yes, whiskey, something like that. Okay. Global colonialism spreads European variants of water root worldwide. Yes, now, today, obviously. Discovery of the Basque Ur as a potential linguistic form. Yeah, so now this is how we link now these old languages together. Your theory and others challenge the completeness of the PIE model, proposing that phonosemantic roots like U predate formal proto-languages. Many regional variants are surface-level evolutions of deeper universal roots. The Mediterranean Sea may have been a cradle of both culture and language, linking Africa, Europe, and Asia. Yes, that is what it did. That is what it did. And that is the end. Ta-da! And wait, we have a bit more. I do have a bit more. Here is a little timeline again. And we can even see now how this split. Even ancient Egypt is here. All of them are here. We can see that the Semitic ones belong together with the ancient Egyptian. So all of these are with the one with the M belong now in one family group. And then we have the up. These will now belong together. This is obviously a singular one because the Greek ones evolved or developed separately. Same with the Latins. But it wasn't fully separately, right? Because we still have the same root, and the root is wa, oo. It is oo. Yes. Yes, and that is how this goes. So now we see that this oo, this where is it? This ui, uya, oo, and the Basque they have maintained the root, whilst the other ones have evolved, which we know because they have a history, whilst the Basques and the Albanians really don't. But in their language they do. Okay. So vowel base. Oo, o, ua, round, open sound, often linked to fluidity, flow, and life. Consonant onset, right? V, m. Well, not m. M is not there. This one belongs to the Semitic group. Are the most common and mimic sound of waves, breath, or lips, and so on and so forth. Roots persist despite orthographic and grammatical differences. Wa, va, wa, u remains a universal fluidic root. And this goes on, yes. So this is further just strengthens the fact, and it did, yes. This is the timeline. Yes, this was we went through. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for listening. Another episode, and there's much more I want to share with you, and I will. We're doing a little bit because this is a big map. It's very, very difficult to listen for so far. If you've been able to listen so far, you're amazing. Okay, great. All right, thank you very much, and have a good day or evening wherever you are. Cheers.